Y'all girls do sex work. Oh, why so many trans women do sex work? Like they don't know why. Because certain ones don't want to hire because let me think. Oh, they're trans. They want to discriminate. Ones want to throw ones out in the street. The family have ones have been disowned by their family members, etc., etc. So don't act like you don't know. You have people who come on YouTube and say, well, they shouldn't do this kind of sports, or they shouldn't do this, or they shouldn't do that. It could be from sports to whatever. They'll find something, but usually in sports, but they'll find anything to complain about. All right, why this person who is trans shouldn't be in this position, uh, whether it be regular just 9 to 5 at the office, whether it be in sports. But we do know sports is the main issue, and I do get the issue to that, but it could just be anything. Wait. And of course, we have the Panthers. North Carolina Panthers have for the first trans cheerleader, and she's black by the way. Kudos, shout out, much love, bond. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, salute, all that. A shout out, blessings, love, however you want to say it. Yeah, yeah, being warrior soldiers out here. Going, progress. They got ones who are upset about that. They haven't choked nobody out yet. She hasn't choked nobody out yet. And moving to that, we heard about, if you're on internet, YouTube, you've heard about the sister who was in, she was a part of, I think it was a college, cheerleading. I think it was either basketball, cheerleading team. And she had an incident where she allegedly choked out a girl, a young white girl, whatever, because they got into a dispute because one of them had called her a man with a penis, whatever. And this video of it, you can go on Facebook. I believe the sister, her trans sister, I think her last name is Mitchell, if I have it right, if I remember her name right. But I'm just going off the memory. I just had to make this video. I think her last name is Mitchell, And yeah, and the girl in the video that I saw, she told the other girls butting into their argument was saying, no, she was just joking. It was just a joke. So that she didn't really choke her. She just kind of, but she got written up for, so I think a citation, whatever, assault, whatever. And, she's, got no longer works there anymore. I don't know if she's trying to do a counter sue or whatever. But it's just, that being said, the type of stuff that goes on, discrimination that could happen, and I'm not justifying that she did that choke. I'm not, but this is why certain ones might stick to the that instead of 9 to 5, because okay, when you do have a regular job in society, you have ones who will try to downplay who you are, and certain people they can handle it better. Certain people can't. Um, and even when you get the job, you still going through it. Somebody still got something to say. Still got something to say. Now I don't know why certain black people can't try to empathize or sympathize, whatever, with because it's like, okay, when you get the job, did you write that? Did you pass that test? You have ones who still try to downplay your success or your intelligence because of this right here. And ones could beg to differ. Well, I was born like this. I didn't decide to be that. Da, da, da. But you have people who bleach their skin because they don't want to be. They don't want to look the part because you will go through it. So no matter if you change your vernacular, if you speak proper, if you cut these off, you have ones who do make those changes in order to have a good 9 to 5. Might not tell them your name is Dequan or Shaniqua or Keisha, whatever. You change your name and still they will treat you like a nigga. Okay? Yeah, you will be treated like one at the end of the day. No matter what you do, they still will see you as that. Will treat you as that. So no matter sex work, not sex work, passable, not but there will be somebody there to remind this woman, and primarily, but it happens to trans men, but primarily trans women, primarily, that you are something that you don't identify with, even though they clearly can tell that you are your mindset, your energy is that of them of a woman. But people fear what they do not understand, and that fear could come out. Hell, you can have people who you work with who could be attracted to you, and it might come out in ways like that. It's so many levels to this. Okay, there's so many levels I can get into, but saying on point that you still complain. So whether the girls are out in the street, whether on OnlyFans or in the sex industry, you complaining. You complain. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear from a bunch of sex workers, right? They all sex workers. They have no respect. Have no, even though things have happened to them, for ones might act the way they act. Like I mentioned before, early in this live, if you tuned in before, of the sexual abuse, the trauma. Certain ones have been sexually abused, the trauma, mentally abused, family being neglected, being disowned, and why certain ones might means of survival, and also act out because of their pain and trauma, as I mentioned with certain black women and even trans women who have been, and even men who have faced trauma, PTSD, and war. So sometimes it could be hard to adapt to a life. As somebody who has probably been, if somebody who has, if you have been in jail or been in prison for like 10, 15 years, that's all you know. And coming out on the outside, it's a different world than what you're accustomed to. You're accustomed to that survival, all right? And how that could play a role into your reactions to certain things that certain people might not react in that way, etc., etc., etc. But even when a person who is trans and they are, instead of trying to make things easier and better for black trans women, to their family can see them as not an abomination, as someone who needs to be loved, who deserves to be loved and not to be disowned and treated well and don't have to survive, who is not going to be abused because people recognize the femininity within them, they see it as a weakness and they abuse them to try to protect them, and not only because they are human, but if you understood the history before the white man colonized us, colonized these lands, of the importance of trans, two-spirited beings and people, the role they played and what they signified, the unification of, some say, the God body, the God being in one, the oneness, the male and the female being one, the positive, negative, the spirit and the physical, all being made into the flesh, representing that God and Goddess energy, right? That you will protect, not only respect, but you will protect and respect intersex and trans. And ones of y'all sitting on the bleachers hoping y'all don't get a rise. Oh my God! Oh, they over there cheerleading. Oh God! Oh yeah! I don't want nobody. Oh yeah! And you have ones who they're just fearful. They don't understand. How could you? What? Huh? No, what's going on in the locker room? What's happening? Blah blah blah. Not, like I said, overlooking that in places like Thailand you have trans women and everything everywhere, right? And the women over there don't feel like, well, I need to be protected because they are being harmed by these trans in Thailand. You don't have that. And prior to the 1700s, 1600s, 1700s, our native ancestors didn't have no fear either. They were celebrated, was involved in sports, just about every aspect of the native society. The gatekeepers in Africa, Ashtan, Yandoro, we go, northern Nigeria. It's passed a law there that make it hard for those who cross-dress and those who identify as trans not to present in public. Like I said, all this the anti-buggery, the buggery laws, all this stuff colonization, these laws, colonization, of why you believe and think the way you believe against or have this disregard for trans and gay, this homophobic and transphobic viewpoint. And when you ask these people what laws were in place prior to the 1600s that we had, okay, especially for those who, I'm indigenous, I don't deal with the Bible, especially y'all. What laws did you have in place that said, hey, this one shouldn't be with that one? Or a person can't transition. They can't wear this type of clothing if they was born male body. They can't wear this type of clothing if they was born female body. There is no such thing as two spirits. There's no such thing. Where's the writing? Where's the vote? Where's the oral tradition? Where is it? Where is it? But you complain when what's the guy, the rapper, Lil, God dang, what's Lil Mope, Lil Wope, whatever. Anyway, okay, yeah, Lil Wope. What's the when he said that, you know, he likes trans and feminine films, femboys, and being with them, he feel like a king. You know, he's not into the sucking of these and this, that, and other. And that's on top of itself, where, you know, ones might feel like because they like the sheeness or they like down there that it somehow belittles your manhood, whatever, because I'm just a top, and I'm not into oral top, I'm not into bottom, and whatever. That how that could signify that you're not a king or that you're not strong. Anyway, that's another topic in itself. But just anyway, he said what he said. He liked what he liked, and he had a lot of people on that. I think it was Say Cheese, and a lot of people in the conversation in the video that respected his stance. You had other people who had something to say. Oh, well, he's confused. He's this, he's that. He likes what he likes. You're always mad that niggas in the closet, niggas not telling you what they like. Then when a dude say, I like what I like, he's confused. He's sick. He's that. Well, these little Nas X and such and such and such and such, you know, they like a man. They ain't gay, but he like a woman with a D. How is he, when he said what he said, he like what he like, and I like what I like? How are we confused? Yes, we like a woman who present in that type of way when there's no clothes, or ones who like post-op or whatever. But women nonetheless. But he liked the film males, of course, and the trans. And I'm glad he at least know the difference to an extent. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty know, because, you know, trans women, like I said, all up here are women. A little difference, but, you know, even before the hormones, but still. And I'm still. So, just, you know, take the surgeries or the hormones to match the, and you have ones who never got surgery, they just take hormones. You have ones who never even taken hormones. They was born with Klinefelters, and that's a whole other thing. But anyway, so yeah, but when ones do come out the closet, oh dang it, these niggas crazy, these niggas confused. They like the she meat, they like the women with the they like a woman with a, they like a chick with a, oh God, what the world coming to? Oh these niggas, they gonna start having transsexual girlfriends, and they gonna be getting bitten up. I'm concerned about our men out here. What they going to what's going on? I'm tired of these goddamn trans out here just selling their ass, out here selling that stick. They need to go on somewhere. That's all they be doing out here is prostitute, sex working. Why are all them sex working? Them got that. What? How they let one be? Are you gonna let one? You gonna let them be a cheerleader? You gonna let them be a cheerleader? Oh, you gonna let her answer the phone? She gonna be at the desk. I mean, he gonna be at there. I meant to say. They all over the goddamn place. Oh, they gonna be the flight attendants. You gonna let them be flight? Oh, they gonna be teaching at the school. You gonna let these trans teach the children? Yeah, teach them trans people fighting the Civil War. How about that? How about that? Yeah, probably teach them two-spirit Native Americans. How about that? How about that? Yeah. Not teaching about sexual intercourse, because I know that's what y'all going to. Oh, not no, because they too young. I don't agree with that, and you got ones who don't agree with that. But to teach them the truth concerning gender and sex, there's a difference. They get to a certain age, right? But you could leave the sexual act to once get to like 13, and that's why I learned about sex around like 12, 13. Around the time you're able to have children. But at least, not at least, but should at least start teaching gender, how people can identify differently. Boys could ones who are boys could identify differently. Gender being a social construct, things like that. Uh, like we give gender to items, to phones, to lamps, especially certain languages, but even, to certain items. Yeah, ones could learn that early on. There shouldn't be nothing wrong with that. Somebody in elementary learning that people can identify it differently. You could be, born as a boy and a girl. You don't have to talk about no sexual organs. Just say, hey, you could be, born a girl, but might not identify with being a girl. So you have ones who they only find out about it through maybe sex work. Oh, there's some people identify as me, or find out through all these other different avenues and ways that might not be as healthy, because there's more than just cisgender boys and girls and men and women. There's more than that. Okay, there's always been. So we're not just going to teach, the white outed his story. We can also teach black people's role in this country. They want to get rid of critical race theory, which I don't really have it, because I'm like, we should teach our own, right? But once we get mad, even if trans people were teaching trans children, because in y'all mind, there's no such thing as a trans child. All the children are, are just, they don't have no inclination. They can't figure out that, hey, I might be different. They might not have it all figured out, but they could be different. You have ones who said they knew since they were that, they were, so they said, okay, we're not going to teach your children. We're going to teach, children in these children over here. Since y'all want to claim people like X-Men, right? Y'all get mad at that. The school for the gifted. You would still want to go and do something to that school. So when a lot of y'all, especially I'm talking to people who look like me, certain ones of y'all who are like that, y'all are just as worse than the people that y'all claim are the oppressor. Because when ones decide, okay, we're going to do our thing, we're going to go over here and teach our own, right? One's the children who are different, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it that they're different. The parents don't want them. You'll get mad that they have a school that is successful, probably more successful in academics and everything else, of trans children who are learning from trans adults about themselves, their story, getting love, getting compassion, and getting highly educated, or informed and enlightened and their purpose in this world. So what you want to do? You want to go over there and burn the school down? You want to hoop and holler, make lies and votes and stuff? You don't want them to exist in no way, shape, or form or fashion? Only be left to dirt in the sewer? But you ask, where's the humanity? So when ones play your game, you're mad. Come out the closet, you're mad. Got something to say. What's happening to our men? What's happening to our women? Why they're turning into men? But come out the closet. Why are you dealing with somebody who was born like come out the closet? Get a job. Why you gotta work here? That's what the white man said. Why you niggas selling dope? Why didn't get them a job? Yeah, you're probably selling dope, nigga. Come on there. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. What's your name? Okay, yeah. You probably got a record, yeah. Then come to find out you sell no dope, you sell no drugs. furious, mad, angry. And how does that make you feel? You're not good enough to, you know, you're miserable because you're making America bad. You're selling all this stuff, you're doing all this illegal activity, and then they don't want you working at the factory, or they don't want you working in corporate. They still discriminate against you. They have to pass stuff like the Crown Act. I think Tennessee was the first state to pass that. But if black trans people or trans women or trans men get an act that protects them from being discriminated against, you have an issue with that. You have a problem with that. Right here in Florida, they're trying to pass laws against trans youth in Texas, which half of the Republican Party is full of homosexuals. It's not a secret, down low at that. And I'll say it to any one of their faces. You know who you are. You know who the members are. You know. How dare you? How dare you? But you're for freedom. You're for people having the right to keep and bear arms. But only if they identify with this. Only if they identify with that. I thought it was the land of the free, but it seems like it's not made for you and me. If somebody wants to protect their trans life, they want to protect their trans wife, their child who is trans, from somebody who feel like they don't care about what the law says because they're a criminal, so they don't care about gun laws. We know that, but also they're transphobic and they're full of hate. They might be racist, they might be homophobic, transphobic, and they have a gun that they purchased illegally or off the street or whatever, and now they want to do damage. So what are trans people do not have any rights? Democratic Party. Oh, yes. Oh, we want trans rights. This, that, and that. But you support Ukraine that doesn't support trans rights. And you know who I'm talking about. Also, you're anti two-way. So with trans people who might live in certain cities or certain states where there's probably a lot of transgender people, they might not have laws that might protect them in the schools, but they have laws that could protect them from these fools, that they can live to see another day, that they can meet fire with fire if need be. And this is what protected black people here in the South, who started gun clubs, because we were attacked. Okay, there wasn't really laws to protect us. And when they start passing laws to protect us, to integration, go to school. Rest in peace, my mother was attacked when integration happened. She was hit in the head with a rock, was in the coma for when she went to high school, started high school, and once they were attacked. That you had ones who was able to arm themselves. The Deacons for Defense in Louisiana, and who were the protection, the bodyguards of Martin Luther King. And Martin Luther King was not anti-gun when they first, when Byron Russell got him, who Byron Russell was, gay, who, was spearhead to the civil rights. And most gatekeepers of trans and LGBT usually were and are the gatekeepers to black people's liberations. But anyway, so, but, they were able to protect themselves. You was able to have a fighting chance to live. So yes, you had to get laws in place to make sure that we were not discriminated against, but you had a fighting chance to say, hey, you're not gonna come here and do whatever you want to do with us. You might not like us, you might say what you want to say, but don't put your hands on me and mine, because I will protect ours. And if y'all know if you're familiar with the book Negroes with Guns, I think I'm saying his name, Robert F. Franklin. And he was basically the spearhead, or his movement, I think in the Carolinas and Virginia, was a spearhead to the Black Panther Party. But he started gun clubs in that era, in I think the 50s and 60s. And he was a time when he started the gun club, but he was trying to integrate the pools. And black people couldn't have pools, right? And slim with the white children at pools. So you had a mob of white people trying to intimidate them, get away from the pool, right? It's white only. But they recognized that they were armed, that Robert F. and the young people he had, they were armed. And the sheriff came there. The mob was trying to get in between the sheriff and trying to get, uh, the niggers. So one of the whites who were leading the mob said, "Hey, take them niggas. They got guns. You can't. We're trying to get them. Let's kill." He said, "No, I can't. I can get them away from here, but I can escort them away, but I can't take away their guns." He was like, "What? You can't take away their guns? What you mean?" He said, "No, I can't take away their guns. They have to." He said, "Hold on." He said, the white guy was just crying like a baby. He said, "You mean to tell me niggas got guns and we can't do nothing about it?" So my trans brothers and sisters, don't be anti two-way. That's your fighting chance out of here, out of to live to see the next day. Black people, trans people, whoever, whoever, and that's your fight. That's your chance when you are being attacked. They say in the South we got something called Southern hospitality. That's because a lot of people are armed down here. Okay, that's why you're the only one with one. All right. So how you doing? What's going on? And even if you probably to do something, somebody commit a crime, you might have to be a little polite to get good gracious to get that close to them. You know what I mean? Because of that, right? People are very, but that's why. That's another reason why ones have the Southern hospitality, because, all right, a lot of land, private property, you can get your arms and go out there to the range and, have your outdoor range you can make, and, so, woo. So, yeah, that plays a major part of it. And people recognize that the Wild Wild West wasn't as wild. There's some video on YouTube and other articles that go into how the Wild West really wasn't that wild. It wasn't a lot of shootings and killings, like I said, because a lot of people had guns, So a lot of it wasn't that. It wasn't wild like that. And they just called it the Wild West, but it really wasn't that wild like that. So it had the bandits and but it wasn't like, yeah, and just like compared to certain places down south to like up there. But anyway, yeah, it's not that wild, but you got a fighting chance. Well, say you have a fighting chance, and don't look at everything as bad or negative. Try to look at it. Okay, this is a way I could maneuver. I could move different. The thing that I refuse is probably my blessing. The stone at the bit of refuse has now become the head of the corner. People reject trans people, realize that trans people are their blessing. If they do the research and they just really look at themselves and look around them, the child that you thought was going to be a hindrance to you was actually the child that became rich and wealthy, and now you're asking them for money. You had like a trans couple. I say trans couple because one is a trans woman and one is a cis man, but they had moved to a more liberal state, and they went there. And they found out that to the range where they were trying to get guns and go get the range time in. But when they went to the range, they found there was a lot of Trump supporters. Now, of course, they on the left. So they was like, they didn't want to go in the range because they thinking, oh, a lot of Trump supporters, I don't want to go in this goddamn range, but oh heck no, that's all the trucks and the Trump stickers on it, but didn't realize that the party that they was voting for, that they supported, aligned with, is anti two-way, has predominantly have been for the past 15, 20 plus 30 some years, have usually been against firearms. They have a lot of firearms. So that's what the Democratic Party, most of them are more. They vote just like the bill that got passed recently in Congress by the House, which the House has a majority Democratic, majority of Democrats, where they're trying to ban another assault weapons bans, which the one in the 90s was Clinton, was a Democrat, which Clinton just came recently and said that they don't need to repeat history, and it's not a Democrats that saying that we don't even have another assault ban that actually hindered America versus helped America, right? Because you're seeing that the background checks, all this stuff doesn't really work. It actually helps crime and doesn't help law-abiding citizens. Because, criminals don't care about a background check. And then if you make certain guns hard accessible to get, that for law-abiding citizens, that the criminal's going to have them anyway, and now you're left to go against AR-15s, criminals AR-15s, but you legally can't, you feel me? And Yeah. So, but the House did it, but it's probably not going to pass. Most likely not going to pass in the Senate. But just say, but that's the kind of stuff that historically that Democrats are known to do. You know, that's why you can't have fully autos because of Democrats. Even with black people not being able to possess certain guns, I mean, black keep guns out of black hands of black people. It was Democrats. You know, okay, who usually voted for that. That's why I say both parties have their yes, right. But if you knew that, you would say, okay, well, she should have asked not only they should have asked, okay, why are these Trump stickers here? They should be like, okay, why aren't there any Biden stickers here? Why aren't there any Obama stickers here? Right? Why we don't see ones who with any type of left affiliation? Why they're not at the Rangers? Okay. Why ones with the rainbow stick? Why you ain't? Why you not? Exactly. You know you're welcome. Got outdoor rangers, indoor rangers. There's some rangers, you know, they be acting, you know. But anyway, but take your firearms to the class, get you some training, and yeah, okay, you know, find out what gun really fits your hand, fits you, whatever, and you know, and get the training. What be better for you, the type of situation that you're in. If you want to carry in a holster, out of band, in a way, but just get familiar with that. And I did none of it on that, but whether you do it, whether you don't, damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And people gotta start looking at the side that you was not taught to look at. You was taught to believe that, oh, you know, this was against me and that was against me. They say everybody who shits on you is not your enemy, and everybody who wipes the shit off of you is not your friend. Democrat or Republican, gay or straight, black, white, whatever, right? Cis, trans, whatever, right? Just yeah, look at that. Just look at that, and realize that you have the things that you can have in your use as a weapon. Use that. You know, they say the pen is stronger than the knife. They can take it once, but they can't take it twice. You know, destruction of the flesh is not the end into life. Fear not of the Antichrist. Did you know that I existed before the earth? And did you know my eyes are windows to the anyway? Quoting Damian Marley. But anyway, yeah. In the book of life, right? Book of life, right? Reading the book of life. So, man shall dwell forevermore. Yeah, so just take all of this, man. What I'm saying, I'm probably going off a rant and everything, but just keep in mind that you have to let people live. Let people live. If it's not hurting you, it's not damaging you. Let people have the liberty and justice. Okay, stop denying one right and having the other. You know, stop feeling like, oh, because I'm trans, I gotta be, you know, disciplined and sacrifice my two-way rights for my trans rights, or vice versa, right? Like, no, you got libertarian party, you got independent, whatever. Just stop feeling like that, and because they all want control, they just want it in different ways. For those who really know, and you got ones who put a lot on the line by just even saying the stuff that I'm saying. I ain't going that deep, but stuff I know about the system and about the gut, about, you know what I mean, about the spiritual. Yeah, I could put my watch my mouth, but I could put a lot of stuff out there. But what I'm saying, y'all just be studied up, learn some stuff, learn what the left and right hand. You know who signed things and yeah. Anyway, so yeah. But this is geared, man, to anybody who watches, but primarily to those who have an issue with trans people not having 9 to 5s, and then when they do have 9 to 5s, you got something to complain about. When the men who like trans women are in the DL, come out the closet, then when ones do come out the closet, you're upset, mad, and that ones are marrying trans women, actually dating trans women, actually take trans women seriously. Okay, probably not all, but take a trans woman seriously to marry, right? And who is doing that? The family accept, your family accept them. or one of your family members accepting, uh, their family accept, like you're just doing it. And this fear mongering, this trying to keep people locked into this thing of that this one is out to hurt you and this one is going to take you out and kill you, and like integration started happened. Before integration, you have, we want to go to school with the niggers because the black want to rub off on you. You had white people who was taught that if they got too close to black people, that the blackness would rub off on them, and they would, you know, the tarness, the blackness would rub off, and they would be black. Okay. And you have ones who have this fear. Well, if you go to the bathroom, they're gonna be in there to the bathroom and attack you in the bathroom, and this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. Well, and it's based off of fear. It's based off of, he said, and sometimes it's based off of just one little. It's just like there's a few black people who are actually in like gangs versus ones who are not. So based off of the minority of black people are actually like gang bangers versus the majority, and you're have people who don't want to trust black people with money, with being a police officer or whatever, because they're like, yeah, niggas steal, you niggas steal, yeah, you niggas, y'all be like, you feel me? And a few niggas done, a couple niggas here and there done robbed and beat and raped somebody. That's what black people do. You know, we gotta protect the white women. Gotta protect the white. And speaking of that, he had this woman in Texas who was murdered by, was it Spectrum? I think it was Spectrum, I think it was cable or something like that. Anyway, a Spectrum, I think cable company, a company, and the family of the elderly white woman in Texas, I believe it was Dallas, I think it was Dallas. They got $7.3 billion, okay? As I guess your settlement lawsuit. And that's one of the biggest in U.S. history. And when I saw the picture of the suspect it had to be a white. I just knew it had to be somebody white. Yep, it was it was white. Oh, white. I just knew before I saw the picture of her, I figured. So this one is worth protecting, and the other one is not worth. Life is worth protecting. And you know, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that, and they did it to make an example to say, hey, you gonna screen your employee, Spectrum. They made an example, and not only you gonna screen, you're going to, my battery getting low. You're going to make sure when you hire these niggas, they never touch one of ours in that manner, okay? Because already they like, we giving them jobs, and this is why we don't want to give them jobs they could be in contact with. So, but those who are black taking the same mindset when it comes to black trans women. See, this is why we don't want to, because, you know, because one do something, all of them are capable. All of them must want to do this. All of them are doing this. And you go from, they're trying to replace your black women with the artificial woman, and that's the trans woman, till you make a lie saying that how black women don't even want to be women. Black women are tired of being women. Black cis women, the same woman who cater to the manosphere, who talks about trans women. She don't subscribe to the LGBT, talks down, don't support, and hey, that's cool. You ain't got to. That's your stance. So how you going to one video, one live say, hey, you know, trans is replacing, but then a couple months down the line, damn, black cis women are tired of being women. Maybe she maybe she said that maybe months ago, because like I said, you know, ones can't really necessarily take your place unless you want them to. Because if you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're good. But if you don't want it, nobody has to take your place. You already gave it up. And that's what happened. You have ones who don't want to be, I'm the man and the daddy. I mean, I'm the daddy and the mama. I'm the man and the woman. I'm independent. I'm this, that, and the other. Blah, 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 blah. Whoop the whoop. They think it's weak to be feminine, to be submissive. There's no replacement needed. If you don't want the ice cream, if you don't want to eat the ice cream, there's no, eventually somebody can and maybe end up eating it for you. They wasn't trying to replace you. Hell, they didn't even eat the same spoon that you had. It don't have to be that ice cream that you had as well. It could have been their own, just the same flavor, the same brand. Like I told people, don't get too proud because there's going to be somebody that can still get the job done if you don't want it. And they don't recognize it. Saul got jealous. Going to the Bible, King Saul at the time got jealous of what was going to be King David because he didn't want to do his job. He became too rebellious. But he saw the potential in David. David was getting all these accolades. So he tried to get him killed. And David still became the king of Judah and then Israel. So he didn't want to be the king of Israel. He wanted to rebel against the God of Israel. He wanted to do it his way. As the Bible says, rebellion is what? As equivalent as much as the same as witchcraft. So God raised up a king that was going to be what? That is, and after God's own heart. So just keep playing the games, keep playing around. Nobody has to just go and just, man, get out the way. I'm beating you up and I'm taking your. No. Ain't nobody got to beat you up to get on that throne. You got off the throne a long time ago. And it's time for me to go. All right. Y'all be good. Shalom. Y'all bless. Units for the kingdom of heaven's sake.